A few years later, he had disposed of all rivals and ruled supreme over the illegal antiquities trade. All the objects looted from tombs and temples by unauthorized diggers, Egyptian and European, passed through his hands. Superior intelligence, a poetic imagination, utter ruthlessness, and an incomparable talent for disguise contributed to his success. Only his most trusted lieutenants were aware of his true identity. We were able that year to foil Sethos's attempt to rob the princess's tombs at Dashur, and to escape his attempts on our lives.
As related in the mummy case.
He got away from us, though, and we found him on our trail again the following season. However, certain developments of a private nature, which are not within the scope of this article, gave us reason to believe we had seen the last of him.
Mrs. Emerson's reticence on this subject is difficult to understand, since she has described these events in the 5th volume of her memoirs, Lion in the Valley.
In the autumn of 1897, we set out for the Sudan, which was being reconquered by British-led Egyptian troops after a long period of occupation by the dervishes. We had planned to excavate in the ruins of the ancient Kushite capital of Napata, but a message from Willie Forth, an old friend of Emerson's, who had been missing for over 10 years, sent us out into the wastes of the western desert in search of him and his family. The details of that astonishing adventure, perhaps the most remarkable of our lives, have been recorded elsewhere. It resulted in the rescue of Forth's daughter Nefret from the remote oasis where she had dwelt since her birth.
The details are related in The Last Camel Died at Noon.
The winter of 1898-99 saw Emerson and me again at the site of Amarna. We left Ramses and Nefret, now our ward, in England, and I looked forward to reliving the fond memories of my first meeting with my admirable spouse. The startling events that interrupted our excavations that year involve private personal matters that are inappropriate in an official biography. Suffice it to say that we encountered for the 3rd time our great and terrible adversary, the master criminal, and several of his henchmen, as well as a mysterious female known to us only as Bertha. The thrilling denouement of this adventure saw Sethos felled by an assassin's bullet, the dispatch of the assassin by Emerson, and the disappearance of Bertha and the henchman.
For the details of these private personal matters, compare the snake, the crocodile, and the dog.
I have often been asked to account for the frequency of our encounters with criminals of various varieties, but in my considered opinion it resulted inevitably from 2 causes. First, the uncontrolled state of excavation during the period in question, and second, the character of my husband. From the first, and at first almost single-handedly, Emerson fought tomb robbers, inept inspectors of antiquities, and unprincipled collectors in his crusade to preserve the historic treasures of Egypt. Needless to say, I was ever at his side in the pursuit of knowledge and of villains.
And now, the hippopotamus pool.
Chapter 1. The trouble with unknown enemies is that they are so difficult to identify. Through the open windows of the ballroom, the soft night breeze of Egypt cooled the flushed faces of the dancers. Silk and satin glowed, jewels sparkled, gold braid glittered. The strains of sweet music filled the air. The New Year's Eve ball at Shepherd's Hotel was always an outstanding event in Cairo's social season, but the dying of this December day marked an ending of greater than usual import. In little more than an hour, the chimes would herald the start of a new century. January the 1st, 1900.